It was a warm Tuesday morning in the small suburban town of Clearwater Heights. Judge Samuel Roberts, a respected African-American federal judge, was on his way to the courthouse for an important hearing. He had served on the bench for over 2 decades, handling some of the most high-profile civil rights cases in the state. Known for his calm demeanor, razor-sharp intellect, and dedication to justice, Judge Roberts was a man admired by colleagues and feared by those who thought they could bend the law. Hey friends, before we jump in, if you enjoy true stories like this, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss the next one. But on that morning, something happened that would not only shock the entire community, it would also make national headlines. Samuel drove his black BMW sedan along the tree-lined streets, thinking about the cases he would hear that day. Suddenly, flashing blue and red lights appeared in his rear-view mirror. A Clearwater Heights police cruiser was signaling him to pull over. He wasn't speeding. He wasn't breaking any laws. Still, Samuel calmly eased his car to the side of the road, rolled down the window, and waited the tall white police officer in dark sunglasses approach, his hand resting on the grip of his holstered gun, license and registration. The officer barked without greeting. Samuel handed him over politely. "May I ask why I'm being stopped, officer?" The cop smirked. "You match the description of a suspect we're looking for. Black male, driving a luxury vehicle. Out of place for this neighborhood." Samuel raised an eyebrow. "Out of place? Officer, I live 10 minutes from here, and I'm on my way to work." The officer ignored the explanation and glanced inside the car. "Mind stepping out for me?" Judge Roberts complied. He knew his rights, but he also knew how dangerous it could be to argue in that moment. As he stepped out, the officer ordered him to place his hands on the hood of the BMW. "I'm going to search the vehicle," the cop said flatly. "With respect, officer," Samuel replied evenly, "you have no probable cause. My license and registration are valid, and I haven't committed any traffic violation." The officer's tone hardened. "I'm not here to debate law with you. People like you need to learn not to talk back." That's when it happened. The officer grabbed Samuel's wrist, attempting to cuff him. Samuel didn't resist, but he spoke in a calm, firm voice. "Officer, I am Judge Samuel Roberts of the United States District Court. I suggest you choose your next actions very carefully." The officer froze for a moment, clearly caught off guard. "You're a judge?" "Yes," Samuel replied, his voice steady. "And I'm also late for court. So unless you want to explain to the state attorney why you unlawfully detained a sitting federal judge, I recommend you radio your supervisor right now." The color drained from the officer's face. He stepped back, his earlier arrogance replaced by a visible unease. After a long pause, he fumbled for his radio and called for a sergeant to come to the scene. Within minutes, a police SUV arrived. Sergeant Maria Lopez stepped out, immediately recognizing Judge Roberts. "Your Honor, my apologies," she said, shooting a sharp glare at the officer. "There appears to have been a mistake." Judge Roberts didn't raise his voice. He didn't insult anyone, but his words carried the weight of decades in the legal system. "This wasn't a mistake, Sergeant," he said quietly. "This was racial profiling. Your officer stopped me because of the color of my skin and the car I drive. That is unacceptable." The sergeant looked embarrassed. "I will be filing a full report, sir." "You'll do more than that," Samuel replied. "I expect this department to review its policies, and I will personally ensure this incident is addressed in the proper legal channels." The officer, now pale and silent, avoided eye contact. He knew his career might never recover from this. News of the incident spread quickly. Local media picked up the story, and soon it was being discussed on national news outlets. Social media erupted with outrage. People were shocked not only by the blatant racial profiling, but also by the fact that it happened to someone so high-ranking in the justice system. Judge Roberts did not seek revenge. Instead, he turned the incident into a teaching moment. He delivered a public statement. "If this can happen to me, a federal judge in a suit on my way to court, then imagine what happens to ordinary citizens who have no title, no platform, and no one to speak for them. This is why reform matters. This is why training matters. And this is why the law must protect every person equally." The police department was forced to issue a formal apology. The officer was suspended pending investigation. Clearwater Heights implemented mandatory racial bias training for all officers, and Judge Roberts was invited to lead a seminar on civil rights and policing. Months later, the same officer who had stopped Judge Roberts appeared in his courtroom, not as a cop, but as a defendant. He was accused of misconduct in another case involving the wrongful arrest of a young black man. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Judge Roberts presided over the case with absolute fairness, showing no personal bias. But when the verdict came, it was damning. The officer was found guilty of violating civil rights and was stripped of his badge. Justice had been served, not with anger, but with dignity. The story of Judge Samuel Roberts became a symbol of resilience and justice. It highlighted the dangers of racial profiling and the importance of holding those in power accountable. And it proved that no matter how high you rise in society, discrimination can still find you, but so can justice. If this story caught your attention, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll be first to know when